Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Vatsal D. Patel from Civil Engineering Department working at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. Today we are going to discuss about become a creator of one's destiny. So as we can see here, we have to follow these 4 steps to become a creator of one's destiny. The first step is shift from a victim to being a creator of one's destiny. Second one is being acceptance of the ideal of contributorships. Third one is the willingness to take full responsibility for one's own development. And fourth one is being the capacity to reflect on one's development and make appropriate modifications. So let us see different example to understand this. So the non-contributors believe that circumstances are more powerful than they are. So here you can see person thinking will be like, I can achieve anything, but for that you must give me the right conditions and support to succeed. So their thinking will be like they can achieve everything in their life, but for that they also want condition in their favor and support from others to be successful in life. They think like circumstances are more powerful than them. If conditions are not in their favor, then they have fear to fail in work. They also depends on others for their success, so that they have less confidence and not believe in themselves. Now, the contributors believe that they, as a human beings, are more powerful and can shape the circumstances they are in. So you can see that person thinking will be like, I want to achieve the goal and I will find ways to deal with the environment and any challenges that may come up. So they want to achieve the goals in their life. If any challenges come in their way, they find ways to deal with it. They believe that human beings are more powerful than the circumstances and can shape it very well. They have full confidence to do the work. So if any environment is there or any challenges comes in their way, they cope up with them and they adjust themselves according to the requirement which arise due to the circumstances. Next, the non-contributors do not step out of their comfort zone. So as you can see in the image, this type of people think like, I have never done this before. How can I do that? So if any new work is provided to them, they not want to put their efforts in it. Their thinking will be like, as they have never done this type of work before, how they can do it now? This type of person not want to step out of their comfort zone and trying the new things. They only want to do work which they have done before. If any new work is there out of their comfort zone, they do not feel confident to do that work. Whereas the contributors are willing to step out of their comfort zone and try out new things. So as we can see in the image, these type of persons think like there is always a first time for everything. At the most, I will fail a few times before I succeed. So why not give it a try? So this type of person want to try out new things out of their comfort zone. They think like there is always a first time for everything. We may fail few times trying the new things, but after that we can surely get success in it. So why not we try the new things? So contributor type person has belief that they can try new things and can achieve success also. Next, the non-contributors constantly blames other. As we can see in the image, they think like all my problems are because of them. So, non-contributor type persons constantly blame others for their own problems. They make mistakes in their life, but for that they blame other persons. They think like their problem is because of other person who are in their life, but they do not see that due to their own mistake problem is there. Blaming others for our own mistakes is not a solution of our problems. Whereas the contributors recognize that they are responsible for their own problems and so they solve these problems. Like as you can see in the image, these type of people think like I have created problems for myself by my past actions. I will now find solutions for myself through my future actions. So the contributor type person recognize that the problem is there due to their own mistakes. They think that they have created problem for themselves by their own past actions. So they now want to find solution for themselves through their future actions. They think like they are responsible for their own problems, so they have to solve that problems by themselves. If you want to success in your life, then you have to overcome your own mistakes. Next, the non-contributors depend on others. So their thinking will be like, I am poor, without other self, how can I survive? So this type of people think like they cannot survive on their own strength. They think they are poor and without other self they cannot survive in life. They depends on other to solve their problems. They think like all the problem is there due to poverty and so they do not try to solve it. So these types of person mainly depend on others. Now, the contributors rely on themselves instead of waiting for others to solve their problems. So, as you can see in the image, their thinking will be like I am a poor, but I can learn shoe shining. This way, I can earn the money I need. So, this type of persons do not wait for others to solve their problems. They think like they are poor, but by learning some work, they can earn money that they need. They mainly rely on themselves. They do not depend on others to solve their problems. They always see what all I can possibly do in this type of situation. So let us see how we can change from victim to creator of one's destiny by understanding the difference between the contributor and non-contributor. So the contributor type person have full confidence to do work, whereas non-contributor type person have less confidence and not believe in himself. Also, the contributor type person, he or she believe that human beings are more powerful than the circumstances and can shape it very well. whereas non-contributor type person think like he or she believe that circumstances are powerful than they are. Contributor type person does not wait for favorable circumstances, whereas non contributor type person believes that he or she is out of control and everything depends on whether circumstances are favorable or not. Contributors are who always see what all I can possibly do in situation, whereas non-contributor only just do what is they have not find other possibility to doing work. And lastly, contributor believe that they will find ways to deal with the environment and any challenges that may come up, whereas non-contributor type persons have demands that you must give us the right conditions and support to succeed. So now let us understand all these concepts with some case study. So the contributors show the courage to step out of their comfort zone. Every time we step out of our comfort zone, we take one step forward on the journey of contributorship. So let us see one case study related to it. Aditi was a clerk in a large company. One day, a senior approaches her and offered her a new role and asked her that Aditi, your Hindi and English are good. Would you like to take up making announcement for the entire company? So Aditi think in her mind that my voice will be heard by thousands of people. I won't be able to do it. I have never done it before. I will make a fool of myself. And replied that, oh no, sir, wouldn't be able to do it. I am so sorry. But Aditi continued to worry over it for days and think like, no, this is an opportunity for me to try out something new. It would be silly to let such an opportunity go. And ask her senior that, ma'am, can I observe you while you work? I want to see how you do things. And her senior replied, sure, Aditi. So, 3 weeks later, Aditi accepted the offer and began making announcements, first doing just a few under the guidance of her senior, then some more, then independently. Her voice went out to thousands of employees. So she did such a great job. People from all over the company praised her like congratulations, you did brilliantly. So from this we can understand that if we try to step out of our comfort zone and try the new things, one day we can surely achieve success by following the footsteps of our seniors and learning something new from the experienced persons like them. So, by doing this, we can also contribute to the journey towards contributorship for the organization and towards the society we serve. So, now if we talk about contributorship, we can choose to make our life full of meaning and fulfillment, or we can choose to live unhappy lives full of ill luck and bad fate. Making the right choice is an important step towards the contributorship. So let us take one example to understand it. Megha was a successful business executive until she got married and had a child. So let us see what she do after that. After my daughter was born, I decided that I couldn't go back to work with such long and erratic hours. But at the same time, I really enjoyed working. So I started working from home, taking up freelance assignments. A few years later, I also began taking lecture as a visiting faculty in a city college. I really enjoyed the work and I am glad I can be there for my daughter as she is growing up. We really have fun together. So, Mega takes responsibility for making her life meaningful and fulfilling. Next, Ritu, also a business executive, chose to quit her job on getting married. Family was her focus. Soon she had two children. So once both her children began to go to school, she didn't know what to do at home and getting bored. So she think like, what could I do? Who would give me a job now? A woman has to sacrifice so much for the sake of her family and children. If I had been working, I would be earning so much like my friends. See the sacrifice I have had to make, all for my husband and children. What a waste of my life is now. My teenage children don't care for me. They want to do things their own way. They are even embraced to have me around. And Ritu feels overpowered by her circumstances. She blames her circumstances and her family for the unhappiness she experiences in her life. So if we talk about both of the cases, in first case we can see that Megha continued to work even after getting married and having child. She want to maintain both her family and her job. So she decided to work from home and everything possible to continue her job. Few years later, she also started new job as a visiting faculty. So from that, she also get chance to grow up her daughter very well and have fun with her. So we can see that she maintained both the work very well, take responsibility in both work and make her life meaningful and fulfilling. Whereas in case of Ritu, she left her job after getting married. She also had two children. So after they grown up, and started going to school. Ritu get bored at home after this. So after that she started to think that now what should she do now? Who will give her a new job? And also start thinking like she sacrificing all of this for her children and family. So if she continued to do the job, she would have lots of money in that time span and start comparing her life with her friends and starting thinking like her life is waste now. Also, after her children grow up and become teenager, they also not want her around them. So she blames her circumstances and her family for her unhappiness. But we know that she can also maintain her work like which way the mega do. But her step to leave work is a wrong decision. And for that she blames her family, which is totally wrong. But it is in our hand what we want to do in our life. We cannot blame others for our own fate because we take decision of our life. So making the right choice is an important step towards the contributorship. Also, sometimes we are faced with a situation where there are many difficulties and obstacles. We can then face the challenges or we can decide to ignore and let the problems accumulate in the hope that somebody else will solve them. When we make a decision to face the challenges, we are beginning our journey of contributorship. So let us see one case study related to it. Padma was assigned as manager to a branch that was doing very badly. It also had many litigations or say law cases going on against it. So she asked one of her colleagues, Sharma, these cases are a serious problem. They are taking up so much of our resources. Why hasn't anyone done anything about it? So then he replied that, Madam, most of these cases are over 15 years old. It has always been like this and always will be. You know how our country's courts work. Nothing ever gets solved here. And suggested her that don't waste your time worrying about this. Anyway, the company is thinking of closing this branch down. So she think like how can I solve this problem that none of the previous managers have solved? This is not in my power. What can I do? Neither do I have the experience nor do I have the context needed to deal with something like this. Better to just go on until this branch is closed down and I am posted elsewhere. But Padma was not satisfied with this. She knew that these were just excuses. After all, if she didn't try and find a solution, then who would? So, Padma met with the lawyers to understand each of the cases and she personally began working out solutions with the advice from many of her seniors and lawyers. And by the time Padma got transferred from the branch 2 years later, all the long pending litigations had been resolved. Moreover, measures were put into place to avoid such cases in the future. Moreover, the branch business was also turned around. By the time she left, her branch had got an A plus rating from the company. So as we can see, there are very serious problems where Padma was assigned as a manager. There were cases which were never solved since last 15 years by different managers. But she take a initiative and solved most of the cases with the help of her seniors and lawyers. And by seeing her work, she got transferred to the other branch. After 2 years, also she left her branch. They also get a plus rating from the company. So from this we can learn that we may have many difficulties and obstacles at our workplace. But if we decide to face those challenges, we can solve it with people associated with us. It is not like that we should ignore the challenges and wait for some other person to solve it. If we take the initiative and work on that particular problem, we can surely find solution for it. So when we decide to face the challenges, then we can surely begin our journey towards the contributorship. Now let us move on towards the last step of contributorship. Contributors recognize that they need to do something, like they do not just sit and worry without taking action. When we begin acting and dealing with our circumstances, things often turn out much better than we imagined. A person taking positive action is embarking on the journey of contributorship. So, in April 2008, the Punjab state government announced a compensation package of approximately rupees 350 crores to the landowners for acquiring of large chunks of land for the expansion of the Chandigarh airport. All banks saw this as an opportunity. The compensated villagers would need bank account to deposit the money they received. So let us see one case study related to it. As we can see in the image, Harnik Singh was a messenger or say office boy in a public sector bank. His bank was conservative and the manager and staff felt they stood no chances in front of all the aggressive modern banks. Moreover, they didn't even have a branch in these villages. Harnik Singh approached his branch manager and said, "Sir, we are trusted by the people. Why will they not prefer to deposit with us if we only reach out to them? I know these areas well. I will reach out and go to them. They don't have to come to us." So Harnik Singh began his rounds going door to door, villages to villages, village to village, meeting with people, getting to know them, talking to them and talking about his bank, requesting them to open accounts with his bank, beginning early morning. Often his round went late into the night. When they couldn't come to the branch, the bank team went to them and completed formalities. They trusted Harnik and so they trusted the bank. The bank got rupees 170 crores of deposits from this effort, far more than any other bank. Harnik's bank also opened a branch in one of these villages. Harnik also reprocured the trust of the villagers. He had become an insider in the community. Villagers were often unable to travel miles to get to the bank, but were in urgent need of money. Harnik ensured he got their money to them at their doorstep. So, from this, we can learn that it is not like that we just sit and think or talk about to do something. We have to take action related to it. All of we talk about we need to do this, we need to do that, but we should work for it in real life. If we just sit and talk about it, it will not go anywhere. For this, we have to act according to it and should deal with the circumstances which comes in our way. If we put our own self in it, then we can perform much better than what we imagine. So we have to recognize what is needed to and should try to take action according to it. So if we take positive action according to it, we can also embark our journey towards the contributorship. So to become a creator of one's destiny, we have to shift from victim phase. So, we embark on the journey of contributorship when we step out of our comfort zone and are willing to experiment and fail. Face challenges instead of ignoring them or running away from them. Do something instead of worrying. Choose to fill our own life with meaningful and fulfilling activities. So, here I end my session. Thank you, all of you.